Right, in today's video it's going to be all about caring for your DJI drone batteries to ensure that they last for a very long time. Now, I've been flying drones for 12 years, 9 of those years I've been flying professionally for clients all over the UK. So I must stress, this video is all about longevity for the DJI drone batteries. If you just wanted to buy a drone from new and fly it for a few months, then you don't have to follow this method. But if you're in it for the long run like I am, and I highly advise you follow this method, and then I can almost ensure that you'll have no issues with the batteries. So let's get right to it. So as you can see, there's quite a few batteries on the table. These small grey ones are for the Mavic Mini 2, which is just sat at the back right. The black ones in the middle are for the Mavic 3 Pro, which is sat at the back left. And then the large white batteries at the back are for the Phantom 4 Pro version 2. So it doesn't matter which DJI drone battery you own, if you apply this method what I'm about to tell you, I can ensure you that you'll have your drone batteries for many years. So no matter which battery I press here, they're always going to be at the same levels. I store them around 50%. As I say, I can press any of these and they'll all be at 2 solid bars, which indicates 50%. But obviously on the grey ones, we've got no button to activate. So if I put this in here, you'll see 2 solid bars there, as you can see. Now the reason they're all at 2 solid bars is because it is winter time now. It's not great weather. If we're not having storms and high winds, it's almost raining all the time, so I don't do that much flying this time of year. So to ensure that your DJI drone batteries last for a long time, I'm just going to show you the method which I use. So let's just say you've looked at the long range weather forecast and you know for sure that we've got a few weeks of decent weather. Then within those few weeks, you'll be fine to fly these batteries every day or every other day, whilst keeping the storage percentage at 20-25%. And then if you know you're not going to be using your batteries within 4 weeks, I highly recommend storing them at 50%. These batteries are going to last a very long time if you follow this method. So in my line of work, I fly in heavy populated areas, so I must really ensure I keep these batteries to the optimal performance. And whilst being in this line of work, you can't afford a malfunction on a battery in your drone, especially when you're over those densely populated areas. When I get really busy and I know these drone batteries are going to be used an awful lot within a few weeks, always 100% charge, and I will never go below 25%, even if I'm flying them within 4 days time. That way I know I'm caring for these batteries. And then when I'm not so busy in winter time, I know I'm not going to be using these drone batteries on a daily basis, so then I'll just fly them, store them at 50%, and then I know I'm good for at least 4 weeks. So DJI recommends that you store these between 40 and 60% if you're not going to use them for a few months. Now, I disagree with that. Never ever keep them stored for a few months, as I know many people who's done this and they've come back from the hibernated state and they just don't work. That's not going to apply to every battery, but I know a few people who's done that. They've been out, bought brand new batteries, flew them a few times, stored them at 50%, 4 months later, they're just not working again. As I just said, you might be lucky, you might not be lucky, but I would never ever risk that because I need these for my line of work. So to simplify this drone method that I use for longevity reasons, if you're flying your drone battery, no matter which one it is, always 100% charge it. I would take it down to 20-25%, and then that'll be fine for a few days to then fully charge at 100 and then repeat that method again if you're going to be flying in a few days. Now if we've got bad weather and you're not going to be flying it for I'd say around a month's time, 100% charge it, take it down to 50% and keep it sat there happily for 4 weeks. So also ensure after around 25 to 30 cycles, you then give your batteries a deep cycle. And what I mean by a deep cycle is, again, let's just say I'm on the 29th flight and now the next one's 30th. I'm then going to charge that on the 30th cycle, again to 100%, and now I'm going to cycle it all the way down to 8%. Then I'm going to let it sit there, cool down for at least an hour, and then I'm going to charge that same battery up to 100% and then take it down to 50% again. Then that's great for the battery cells inside, and again, the battery's going to last a lot longer than if you wasn't doing this. Again, this is just for longevity reasons. I can't stress that enough. If you're just going out there to buy a drone from new, as I said before, and you're just going to be flying it a while, let's just say 3 months, and then you're going to sell it, you don't need to follow this method. So never ever leave your batteries at 0%, although you might get away with it a couple of times with a new battery. If you keep doing that, you're going to really damage those cells. And I wouldn't recommend leaving your batteries at 100% for more than 24 hours. Although these are smart batteries, you can set it within the app to start discharging from a minimum of 3 days right up to a maximum of 10 days. I would highly recommend never leaving them at 100% for more than 24 hours. Now, DJI batteries for the drones are a lot better than what they used to be. When I first started out, I was lucky to get around 10 minutes to my flight time. And now you can get up to 40 minutes. Now that's what DJI claim. Now that may be true if you've got absolutely no wind at all and you're hovering the drone around 10 meters in height, and then you probably will get the times that they specify. But in some kind of ways that's false advertising, because you're never really going to get no winds at all, and plus you're not going to be at 10 meters. Now let's just say, for an example, you're flying your drone at 60-70 meters and you've got a wind speed there of say 20 miles an hour. You are not going to get 40 minutes out of that battery. And plus, like I've said previously, you should never take your drone battery down to 0%. So with these latest batteries from DJI, from 100% down to 50%, that's going to get you around 20 minutes of flight time. And you're probably going to have the combo package there, so you can have around 3 batteries, or even if you have 2, on each battery there you're going to get 20 minutes flight time. So if you've not got the footage you need within that time, you'll need to do a little bit more practicing. This method that I'm telling you right now is from experience flying all those years, and I've never had any issues with the batteries swelling or any malfunctions at all. So I can guarantee if there's no faults with the batteries, if you follow this method, you're going to care for your batteries for many years. I know people who just neglect the batteries. They just basically charge them like a phone battery. I know one person who's basically just charged these to say 60% from leaving it a few days. He's gone out flying, totally drains it down to 2% and leaves it sat there for a few months. And then when he wants to go back, charge that up and fly it, it's just not charging. The battery's just completely knackered. You've got to really respect DJI drone batteries, again, if you want them for longevity reasons. So what you must never do with the batteries, for instance, as you know, all mine are sat at 50% this time of year. I would never just put that one at 50% straight in my drone and fly it around. Although I can guarantee it's going to work, it's not really what you want to be doing with these drone batteries. For obvious reason, that drone's going to be at a maximum altitude of 120 meters, which is 400 feet. And if you keep neglecting these batteries, one day they're either just not going to charge up, or you'll be lucky enough to get them charged, but they may malfunction. And if you're in a populated urban area, that's what you really don't want. And I always store these batteries at room temperature, just as you're seeing them now, laid down, and I've had no issues for many years. So what you don't want to be doing with the batteries, if you're not using them for several weeks, don't just throw them in the bag so they're just upside down and the terminals are touching loads of dirt and debris. I always store the batteries with these protective caps on when I'm not using them, and they're always stored in a horizontal position. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you use that method that I've taught you, you'll be looking after your DJI drone batteries for many years. And if you don't, you'll still be fine to fly them, but they're not going to last as long as if you was to use my method. So I can't repeat myself enough on this. This is all for longevity of the DJI drone batteries, not just for a short-term quick fix. So for now, stay tuned to the channel, as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon. But for now, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.